Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. I am back to post another budget review video. I have been loving these budget reviews and you guys have been sending so many in. I have so many sitting in my forms. I'm so excited that you guys are really enjoying this series and that you guys want a budget review from me. That is like the most amazing compliment. I don't think I'm anything special. I'm just so grateful that you guys are trusting me and that you enjoy watching these videos and that they're helpful to you. So thank you so much for being here. And today we're going to be talking about Tessa. She is 33 years old and she lives in Nebraska. So let's go ahead and get started with Tessa's budget intake. So Tessa is a medical coder. She is single and she makes about $60,000 a year. She has a short-term goal of going on a trip to Savannah, and she estimates she's going to be spending about $2,800 on that trip, which is fun. She has no debt, which is amazing. Great job, Tessa. She has a really good amount of savings as well. She has over $35,000 in savings. She has $20,000 in an emergency fund and $15,000 in various sinking funds, which is great. She has $75,000 in investments. Her biggest financial struggle is that she doesn't like spending money on herself, which I can totally relate to that. Like as a mom, I tend to put myself last. And that is something I'm really trying to focus on this year too, is being okay with spending money on myself, because I feel like I'm always just like, there's other people that need it more, or like, oh, I want to work on this or this. So I am totally supportive and happy that you want to focus on spending money on yourself, especially given the financial picture that we're seeing here. You are in such an amazing spot. You can definitely afford to be spending more money on yourself. And I'm so excited to help you do that with your budget. And her long-term financial goal is to eventually buy a house, which is great. So because Tessa doesn't have any debt, we don't have a debt overview to go through. So let's just go ahead and go over the budget that I have created for Tessa. All right, so let's go ahead and go through Tessa's budget. So her income for the month is about $2,875. And here is her fixed expenses. So she has rent, which is $1,035. She has electric for $125, internet for $105, which I would say is a little bit high if that's just internet. You might want to look at that, Tessa, and see if you could maybe get that down. I know a lot of times I absolutely hate working with like internet providers because I feel like they will slowly bump you up over the years. And it can be so frustrating. So it might be worth calling and seeing if they have any specials or anything that they could help you to bump that down a little bit, because it does seem high. I know personally we pay, I think, $60 a month for our internet. And unless this is maybe including some other things or cable or something, but $105 for that. Car insurance, $210. Again, seems a little bit high. I'm assuming this is just for one car. So I would guess that's probably a little bit high. If you could maybe shop around, it might be helpful. And then we have cell phone at $65. Again, there are other options that could potentially be cheaper. $65 isn't horrible. That's around what we used to pay for our cell phones. Then we switched over to Mint Mobile, which I've talked about ad nauseum on my channel. I'm not going to share too much about it in this video because I'm sure you guys are completely sick of hearing about it. But just for this sake, we pay about $30 a month for unlimited everything. So you could cut that about in half if you wanted to see if you could switch. Mint Mobile has a coverage map on their website, which is really helpful to see if you will have good coverage in your area. And I would highly recommend checking that out before you switch, just to make sure that you would have good coverage. So $65, again, feel like you could maybe get a few of these down slightly, but nothing too horrible. Just some suggestions for how you can maybe improve it a little bit. $145 for the gym. Again, a priority for Tessa is to spend more money on herself. So I am totally supportive of her spending money on a gym membership. I think gym memberships, gym equipment are very money well spent because it is improving your health. It's putting money into that, which is so important. So $145, totally great. She also has a cat, and this is money set aside for medical expenses for her cat. So that's $50 a month. And then she has renter's insurance for $22. And again, not a lot that I would change here, except for maybe seeing if you could drop a few of these down, but nothing too crazy. Total fixed expenses, $1,757, and her total remaining is $1,118. Let's go ahead and go up to her variable expenses. So these are relatively low for her, but she is a single person, so I don't think any of these are too crazy. The majority of these are what she had reported to me, but I did bump up her spending slightly. So she had $40 for gas, $260 for food, $30 for her cat, $30 for household, and then she had $50 for spending. I bumped it up to $100. And honestly, Tessa, I would be supportive of you bumping this up even further if that's something that you want to do, or adding in another category maybe for something else that you want to spend money on. I think you definitely have the room in your budget to do so, and you should treat yourself. So like I said, I doubled your spending money so that you have a little bit more room to spend on things that you want. But again, maybe consider bumping some of these up. Maybe consider bumping up your food budget slightly if that's something that you do want to spend more money on. Again, kind of prioritize what you want to be spending money on. If you do want to be spending more money on food, by all means, bump that up. But I kind of left it at what she had it for the most part, except for bumping up that spending. So that leaves her variable expenses at $460 for the month and her total remaining at $658. We do have some sinking funds here. She has a gift sinking fund for $25, and then vacation sinking fund, I believe $458 was for the trip to Savannah so that she can save enough money to have this paid in full, which is great. So that's $458. And then a medical sinking fund for $25, which again, perfect. Only other ones I would consider adding in here would maybe be a car sinking fund for like any car expenses. I definitely think you could add maybe a car sinking fund. And then I know you do want to purchase a home, so I would maybe consider including a home sinking fund too, and setting aside a little bit of money in each of those every single month. And again, if you can decrease a few of these, you could directly put that money into these new sinking funds potentially. For now, I left those off here, and that brings her total sinking funds to $508 and her remaining at $150. And what my suggestion would be to this, and again, I'm totally supportive of you using this $150 up here if you do want to increase this more. But for now, my suggestion would be to open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. I don't know what Tessa's investments are actually in. Like she said in her budget review, she does have about $75,000 in investments, which is great for 33. So yeah, I think a Roth IRA, if you don't have one, would be a great addition to like your portfolio. But again, if you want to spend this, I'm totally supportive of that. Also, she does want to buy a home. So if you don't want to go the Roth IRA route, I think just putting it in a home savings would also be a really great idea as well. So you have a lot of flexibility here. Tessa, you are doing amazing. I really enjoyed reviewing your budget. You are doing incredibly well. I am so proud of you. No debt. You have an amazing savings. You have a lot of money in investments. Like, you are killing it. So I think no matter what decision you make on your budget with how you're spending this extra money that you have, it's amazing. And I think you should really be giving yourself a pat on the back. You're doing incredible. Great job. Thank you so much for letting me share your budget. Again, if you want to get a budget review done by me, I will leave the link to the form in the bio down below, and you can check that out. If you would like this budget template, I do also sell this in my Etsy shop, so check that out if you are interested. And that's all I have for this video. Again, Tessa, thank you so much for sharing with us, and leave any tips or suggestions for Tessa in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on Friday for Debt Free Friday. Bye guys.